Hi, everyone. We are approaching week 8, which entails a very minute spring break for next Thursday and Friday in the first week of March. So I wanted to go over what you have due. So you have started to take a look at Project 1, hopefully have watched a few of those mini films, maybe found a few other resources that you like, and have determined a direction that you'd like to go for your project 2, which is the illustration essay. An illustration simply means using examples that deals with issues of race and identity primarily. And so for this week in the folder, you have 6 tasks to accomplish. The first one is to watch a video on how to write essays and research papers more quickly, about a 10-minute video that gives you a nice overview of writing a research paper. This is technically a research paper in that you are incorporating outside sources, so sources beyond your own experience to help augment, supplement the illustrations or examples that you use in your essay. For number 2, I've recorded a 15-minute video based on some feedback I got from a few students who wanted some more help or further explanation on outlining and topic generation. So this is a 15-minute video, and I use the software Screencast-O-Matic, and it has a 15-minute cutoff if you're using the free edition. So my ending is abrupt. I apologize for that. But in it, I go over the outline that I created, and I talk about how I use outlines after I've drafted because they help me to see structure better. So if you work that way, if you have a hard time starting with an outline and then drafting, you might want to take a closer look at this video to see how I find outlines helpful. I also do cover a short summary of 2 other pre-writing strategies, namely brainstorming or listing and free writing. And so it is a 15-minute video, a little bit longer, but hopefully if you're struggling with outlining or drafting or coming up with ideas, that might help you a bit. And I've also included the outline that I reference as a PDF there in number 2. For number 3, we are asking you to submit an outline for this project number 2. So again, perhaps you've drafted some first and then created an outline. That's fine, remembering that your outline helps you to see, okay, here's my introduction, here's ideas that I have for it, this is what I think my thesis or my main argument will be, and then 3 body paragraphs at a minimum. So you have 3 points that you want to cover to help support your thesis. And in my case, when I wrote this essay, I did a kind of chronological set of points. So I went from childhood to college to graduate school to my life now as an educator. So those, I think I have 4 body paragraphs rather than 3. So you can certainly do a similar chronological format if you'd like, or you could divide your experiences into professional, like work life, personal, interpersonal relationships that you've had, and religious or scholastic experiences. So those are some ways that you consider dividing up your essay. So we'll ask that you submit that outline on the 7th, and then we ask that you start to get ready to start writing. And I had a momentary brain blip right there, that you start drafting your essay. And again, if you're doing the kind of reverse order of draft and then outline, you will have a draft, but we're not asking you to submit that, but to begin writing. Your final essay will be due on the 14th. So it behooves you to begin as early as you can. And if you're like me, and these are somewhat heady or weighty issues, you want some time to process and digest some of this. I'm reading a lot right now, and I'm listening to a lot of different things, and a lot of it's really heavy stuff, and we're living in a pretty heavy time. So give yourself some space to digest and understand what you want to write about and your feelings about it. And if you give yourself the time in between the due dates, that gives you some of that intellectual space to think deeply about some of these things. And then we have number 5. Last week, we had asked you to try to use Flipgrid. I know a few of you had some trouble with it. To try to use Flipgrid to share your topic and thesis. And this week, we're asking you to reflect back from last week and comment on a couple other classmates' topic and thesis statements. Again, if you can't get Flipgrid to work, just write your answer in the add comment section of the assignment, and that should work for you, hopefully. And then finally, we are talking a little bit about plagiarism in that last video. Plagiarism is just the intentional or unintentional use of someone else's ideas or words without crediting the source. And both are no-nos in writing and in college and in the workplace. And so we always want to give credit to people's original ideas and words. And since you are required to use some source material for this, including those mini films, it's a good thing to watch. We'll do a little bit more next week on citing and sources. And I plan to do a few more short videos addressing some of the concerns you raised in your journal for reflection on project 1. So a few of you had asked for a little bit more help with commas and semicolons. I do plan to do a short video on that as well. So that will be in the following week's folder. All right, that's it for week 8. Try to give yourself a few days off, Thursday, Friday. Maybe you can enjoy some nicer weather and connect with people you haven't connected with for a while, whether that's on text or Messenger or Zoom, and give yourself a little bit of a reprieve before we finish this last 7 weeks after this of class. So you're at the halfway point. Good job. Keep going. The end is in sight, and the days will get longer, and hopefully our spirits will raise as a result of that. Take care, everybody. Thanks.